All right, here we go. Thank you, Dr. Uret. All right, let's get right to it. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. As I've said to you before, and I'll continue to say it, we're going to continue to go in cycles. We're going over and over and over and over again, the same things. Like the Hebrew alphabet, we go over and over and over and over again. You and I will never fully understand all things. Never. We'll never understand the Creator from the perspective that we have it all figured out. And what that tells me is that if we can't fathom his ways, and even the prophet Moshe had declared that, teach me your ways, and Dawid said it as well in the Psalms. They wanted to know Yahweh's ways, and they weren't arrogant enough to believe that they had it figured out. I think one of the biggest mistakes that we make as a people, as a community, is that we think because we know some things that we know it all, and that there's no room for improvement. We look at ourselves in a different light. We hold ourselves in high esteem. But, we have to think about, how does the Creator view us, and how does he see us? Yes, we're his children, but how does he view our behavior and our conduct? How does he, in what light does he really see us in? And what I'm more speaking to is like, as an individual, collectively, we know that we're the household of Yaakov. We know that we belong to the 12 tribes of Israel. We know that, we know the names of our fathers. Well, we should know. We know that Abraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov are our ancestors. We know that we've been in a covenant with the Creator that was given to us at Mount Sinai, and also at in Moab, the second time that he made a declaration to our people. We understand that. But how does the Creator see us as individuals? It's like we join up in the community and we want to hold on to the things that we share in common. But the question is like, how do God sees us as individuals? How does he view us? We have teachers, we have bosses, we have parents, we have trainers, we have all these people that are part of our lives. We have peers, managers, friends, husbands, wives. And we always get, we're trying to figure out how they feel. We're trying to find a way to make sure that, we're seen in a good light in their eyes. But what about the Creator? I think I want to turn our focus and our attention to the understanding about this Torah portion, because this in particular portion is very, very deep. It's very deep. We talked about the character of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. We talked about our mothers, Sarah, Raquel, Rivka, Leah, Bilhah, Ziplah. We talked about all these different people, Noah and Shem and Japheth and Ham. But what about us? We talked last week about Caleb, and what the intention is. And what Yah's desire is, he says that, he had a different type of spirit. Therefore, because he was wholehearted with me, 100%, he's going to be able to go into the land. And that's an indicator about what the Creator's looking for. So the goal for all of us is to try to understand, what do we need to do personally on ourselves, outside of the group, to figure out where we stand with the Creator. And are we living up to his expectation? That's what this focus of this Torah portion this week is going to be on. It's literally about the expectation. The name of our Torah portion is called Vayishlach. Okay? Vayishlach. And Vayishlach right here, of course, this is really a W, and it's really a Wa, and then Yish, Yi, and then Shalak. So those of you who've been in my class, you tell me what Wa means.
And
Excellent. And then there's a Yod and an I right there. So there's Yi. So kind of like it has to do with the hand. And that means he. So far we got and he. And then Shalak. Sent. Yes. And we know that there's several different types of ways that something can be sent away. It can be sent in a very simple way. It can be sent in a forceful way, or it can be caused to be sent away, or someone can send themselves away. Okay. So in this idea of us understanding, and praise be to our Elohim for revealing to us about how we should understand this language. So let's get right into it. Let's start reading what it says. Okay. I'm going to start here in the English right quick, just to give a little bit more context. So this week, our portion starts, I believe, in verse number 3. I think it's in 3. Yeah, it does. Well, last week, and I didn't touch on it. I don't know why, but I didn't. It says that Yaakov went on his way. And this is after leaving Lavan. And, he just made a covenant with him. It was a big scuffle, big argument, a lot of contention, and a lot of competition, contention, and arguing. And finally, he gets a covenant out of it. And so he goes about his business. And it says, and the Malachim of Yahweh met him. So after the incident that he had on his way home, he runs into a camp of Malachim, which are messengers from Yahweh. Not just one, a whole camp of them. So when Yaakov saw them, he said, this is Elohim's camp. And he called the place Makanayim, okay? Makanayim. So let's go look at it right quick in Hebrew so we can get a little bit more understanding. And don't worry, if you don't know Hebrew, it's fine, because I'm going to teach it to you. This is what this is about, okay? So, so we see that he went his way, and then Yaakov, when he saw this camp, this Makane, okay? Or Makane. This word right here is used several times in our Torah portion. Several times, okay? And there is a root in it that we're going to focus on. So remember, out of every Hebrew word, like makane, okay? Makane, okay? So makane. In it, they have this word inside of makane, kanan, okay? That's what the root is, called kanan. And it's consistent of this letter right here, which is a ket, okay? And the next letter is a nun, okay? Those two letters. That's the root, okay? Let me see. So those of you who've been in my class, can someone tell me what the ket represents, if you remember?
wall.
Yes, it's a wall. And the next letter is the nun, L-N-U-N. What does that represent?
Seed.
The seed, okay? So in our Hebrew, we look at different things. Like, for example, when we look at this wall, we see it as a wall, right? But we also have to understand, how does a wall function, okay? So from your understanding, not even from a Hebraic perspective, but how does a wall, like even in your house, what does walls do in your home?
They separate or divide.
Yes, they separate, right? You have to separate and they divide, okay? They divide. So what about a seed? What does a seed do? Or how does it function?
It goes in and sprouts roots.
Yes. So it has the idea of sprouting, right? Spell that wrong. You have the sprout, and then you have its root system that we talked about. And the idea of this, of sprouting and bringing a root, is for a purpose. And the purpose of a seed is not only to sprout, that's the function of it, right? But its purpose, okay? So its purpose is its function, meaning to continue. That's what a seed is for, okay? To continue. Like the seed of a man is to continue the family. The seed of an apple tree is to continue the apples, okay? So that's what this is about. So when we look at this idea of a Canaan, okay, in English, they call it grace. Okay, it's grace and it's compassion. And sometimes it is identified as being mercy. And sometimes they might have it as love, you know, it might be love, depending on what context is being used in. Okay. So you ask yourself, well, how do I get mercy, compassion, and grace out of a something that's divided, but something that's continuing? So let's make sense of it. So in this case, we know that the wall is used to divide and to separate. It's dividing between something, okay? And usually what it is dividing the inside from the what?
Outside.
The outside, okay? That's what a wall does. It separates the inside from the outside, okay? And you know that this letter is used a lot when you talk about the decrees of the Creator and you talk about the festivals of the Creator, like what they call a cog, which is a feast. It has that CH in there, right? Which is a Kate, okay? So going back to my point is that the wall is there to divide and to separate the inside from the outside, okay? So, and it also means here with this seed here is to continue. So in essence, this word about a camp means that a wall continues. The wall continues, okay? And it continues to separate and divide the inside from the outside. So what I want to do now is, do anyone have any questions before we continue? It's important for us is to set the foundation on which we're working from, right? Because in order for us to fully understand the Torah, we need to understand what and how Yah is showing us different things, okay? And he's using words to do so, like Makane, okay? And the easy way to remember that is Matthew McConaughey. Is that his name? Let me see someone trying to get in. Yes, let's let them in.
I have a question.
Yes.
In there like walls like within the house and could separate the male from the female or?
Yes. Yes. And that's true because that's what it was in a tent. They had walls that divided the males and the females from each other, right? So the father's, his place was different from the women and the children. Even in his tent, there was a separation. You know, just like if you have a house and a floor plan, it's usually the parents' room is the master bedroom. You see, that's what they call it, the master's bedroom, right? Get it? We thought, oh, that's the master bedroom because it's the biggest one. No, it is the master's bedroom. Okay.
Also in the positioning where he would be within the tent, provided protection for them.
Yes. Thank you. Because he would be, thank you. That's an excellent point because he would literally be the first point of contact. Okay. And so let's look at it. Now, you know what letters for the bet, right? I mean, for the tent. I just told you what it is. So the letter of the bet is this, the ancient, okay? I'm making a big picture of it, okay? This is the tent, okay? which is a dwelling, right? Which includes the family. Okay. And so there's all different things that are involved in this tent. You know, you got the tent peg, right? And then you have, which the tent peg makes the connection, which is the wall. There's walls all over the place to tie down everything. Okay. So this is we're just looking at it from a top view. Okay. The floor plan. Here's the wall right here of separation, the ancient wall, okay, within it. And sometimes they'd hang up a curtain or something just to make a division. And so on one side, you would have the women, okay, and the children, okay. And then in here, you have the father. He'd be on here. The father would be at the door of the tent. So they'd have to go through him to get to the family. That's just the way it works, okay. That's how it worked. Now, if you did another like a 3D or something, it would, you know, it'd be a tent like this, and you know, they'd have to go through here, and they have to go through there to get to him. Okay. And some of those tents weren't just like that, but they were more like this, you know, a little bit larger. And so they had the two doors right here that separated like that. And then the person would walk in, they'd have to go through the father, okay, to get into it, to get into this tent. And here's the two tent doors right here, right? And then, of course, like I said, you have the walls. And this is important things for us to understand, to make the connection, to hold the tent in its place. So they use the guy ropes down here, and then you got another one over here, and then you got another one coming right here, and then you got another one coming right here and there. And so this is how it was. And you know, our Creator, he lived in a tent. He dwelt in a tent, right? So my point about this wall is, okay, let me go over here and get rid of this. This wall here gives you the separation, okay? That's what it does for inside of that family, all right? But I also want you to understand something from this letter, the bet, okay, which has the ket in it. That's the ket, that's the wall. All right, so this is how it works, everyone. You have your dwelling, and then you have the earth, okay? The earth and the world in which you live in, all right? So all these things are just larger systems, okay? So within you, you're literally like a tent, okay? Just like you live in a dwelling, you live in a tent, okay? The Creator calls the earth like a tent. You understand? So it really starts with the individual. So within your tent, okay, which is your body, you have what? From what we're studying right now, what do you have inside? If you're part of a tent and you're a tent, what do you have? What's in you? Huh?
Seed.
Yeah, you got seed. Let's name a few things. You got some seed in you as a male, okay? But I'm talking about over for both male and female, because she's a tent too. Because if you notice the bet, when you write out the bet, it comes with a little dot in it, okay? And that could be considered a baby, okay? So the tent will hold a baby, okay? Which the seed is put into that, right? That's where you get your name Bain for your son. Now, but what I'm asking is, if you and I are like a tent, and we are what they would say a tabernacle, because we are, we have in us walls,
Things
okay?
that separate.
And we have different compartments. And what's going on for us, okay, is there's these different areas, because that's what a wall does. A wall separates. So you got all these areas, okay, inside of your body, separate compartments, okay, several places that things go, okay. One of the places that I want you to focus on is your mind, okay, because in your mind, this is where you make what?
Decisions.
You're making decisions, okay, And the decisions that you're making are you're going to have to make a division of things. You're going to have to make some type of separation. Okay. Yeah, separation. Okay. You're making some separations, you're making some divisions, and you're making decisions because that's what a decision is. Okay. Which is literally like choice. You got choices to make. And these are the walls in your head. Okay. In your brain, you have different compartments up there. What they call it a frontal lobe, and then they got the cerebellum, and they got all these different when they say you got regions. So different parts of your brain work in a certain way, but the part that I'm talking about is the ones that are making these decisions. And what we're going to see and that's part of your camp. Okay. So let me finish on this camp thing. Just wanted to bring that little point out right quick. I don't want to get lost in the sauce and not be able to come back. So the idea here about Kane, or actually the name was called a Makane, okay? And out of there was Canaan. And out of that root was the Ket and the Nun, which is this letter and this letter, okay? Which we found is the wall that continues, because that's what we got from our oh, what happened? You guys still there? Okay. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the wall that continues. Okay. So you got that. That's what it means. The wall that continues. In the ancient understanding of the Makane, what it was is that what they would do is they would put several tents when they would travel together, right? They would put tents all over the place, right? And so when these tents were placed up, or when they was set up, they found out the location they were going. I'm just going to put out a few right here, okay? And they would then put them in what you would call a circle. So once this circle was around, everything would continue all the way around, okay? And so they would literally cause a wall that would continue. So the tents caused this wall. So no one was able just to walk through from here to here and all this kind of stuff, okay? And they had a little entrance way, of course, to come in. And that would be your gateway right here, okay? That's your gate. So within this camp, put a different color so I can make more sense of it. So this would be called what you call a camp, okay? And that, and people will go camping. So within the camp, you have all these tents. And so what do you have? You have all these families, okay? That's what you have, which is called a clan. And each tribe had this kind of like configuration. I know we see it in the pictures that we see. There were, you can have something blocked off without just it being a circle, but it just means the wall continues. That's what it means. So in this camp, this inside of this area, the camp, everything happens there, right? So you're all living amongst each other. And what you're really looking for is with these families, you're looking for fellowship because you guys are so in close quarters. So you got a couple of purposes. I'm guarding, we're protecting, right? So there's a protection right here by this wall through separation. Separation, there's protection. That's why the Most High says, I'm going to cause you to be a separate people. I need to protect you from the outside elements, okay? But within the camp, remember I told you that some of the names that are used for Canaan is called grace, mercy, and compassion, okay? And where you would find this grace, this mercy, and this compassion is within the camp. Okay, that's where you would find it. You would either show it or give it. So what do I mean by that? All right, so here, Dr. Yared and Dr. Kavika is living right here. Okay, they're going to live right next to me and my family right here. All right, something goes wrong with my tent. Dr. Yared sees it. He comes out of his tent. He said, hey, he sees me working on it. He says, hey, Dawid, let me help you. Okay. So what does he do? He goes into his tent, he gets some tools, he comes out and he helps me repair what the problem is. He see that I need some help. Okay. I didn't ask him for it. He just did it because he lives within the camp. Okay. Then we got over here. We got Fanta and Anthony. Okay. Fanta and Anthony are cooking and preparing some food. I'm walking around and I come over past their camp. And you know what they say to me as I'm walking by? Hey, Dawid, here, try some of this food. See? And then I'm a recipient. They're giving and they're showing me mercy. They're showing me grace and they're showing me compassion. So when we do these things amongst each other in this camp environment, what you really see is what they call beauty. Okay? That's what you see. You see beauty in the camp. Okay? So that's where this word camp comes from. See, it's a whole different understanding when you're talking about grace and mercy and compassion. It's how we live amongst each other that we can do this. So in our Torah portion, what we're finding is, and guess what? Even within the camp is what you would have some shalom. There's peace there. Everybody's made whole. And you know, if there's a problem, so if someone's stomach is feeling a little empty, someone there would put something in it to make it whole. You only feel whole when you're satisfied, okay? Only full when you're not enough room right there, okay? So that's the idea behind us as people, okay? This when Yah says for us to show mercy and compassion and grace, this is what he's talking about. It's not an abstract term, right? It's written as an abstract term, but our understanding has to do with camping, okay? Now, let me blow your mind. So the two letters that represent this is this, a Kate and a Nun, right? Okay, that's what it represents. Now, if I reverse and I put those letters on another level, like I put a Nun and then a Ket, like this, right? Guess what those letters mean? I'll just write it up here and then you fill it in. Let's see who's been paying attention. Blank, blank, CH. Who am I talking about right here?
Noah.
There you go. Noah. Noah. And what does Noah's name mean? What
Does
does
it
his
mean
name
rest?
mean? Rest. So you can see how these letters are connected. When is someone going to go camping? When do you usually set up a tent? When they're ready to what?
Rest.
When they're ready to come to their rest. Listen. Listen to what Yah was saying to us tonight. In our Torah portion, okay, Yah's letting us know that my goal is to bring Yaakov to rest. Okay, who's he traveling with? Who's he traveling with? Who's Yaakov traveling with? And what is he traveling with?
With his family?
He's traveling with his family and his servants. Okay, so let me clear this up. Hope you guys got it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll clear all that up. So Yaakov is literally traveling with his family. Who else did you said he had his servants? Who else does he have?
He has livestock.
He has livestock. And included in that livestock are rams, sheep,
Goats.
male and female, camels, donkeys. All right, both male and female. Okay, and guess what? You think it's just them, right? They got kids. They got their children. Okay, let's call them properly. Children. They have children. He has servants. They got male and female. And those servants have male and female. They have children. Okay, so you have, he has his four wives, two of them which are his maid servants, and then he has 11 children. Okay, and he also has with him probably some wealth, because it talked about him having gold and silver. I mean, he got stuff. Remember, he didn't leave broke. Yah paid him, so he got shalem. So now what he's doing is Yaakov is leading everybody. Okay. And all the people that are with him, even though they're servants, male and female, they're part of his family. They're part of his household. He's in charge of everything underneath him. He's in charge of everybody and everything. And that's what I've been trying to tell all of us. Okay. That the husband is in charge of everything, period. And if it's not happening right now, don't trip. When you get back to the land, trust me, it's going to be that the husband's in charge of everything, because it's his responsibility. And you should be able to see that through this Torah portion. Matter of fact, it's his responsibility to protect, to teach, to guide, to love, to show mercy, okay, to give understanding, to judge, to rule, to provide, all these things. So it's not like I'm just a ruler. No, I literally have to provide all these different things. So everybody has their role. Okay. So this is about a man leading his family, his household, and what his desire is, everyone, is for him to find grace. And I'll read that to you right quick. I just needed to set the stage. All right. And why? Because he's leading them, because he wants to be at rest. So these people right here are like sheep to him. And so are these people. And so are they. The same idea of guardianship, protection, provision, and all that for sheep is exactly the same as it is for people. Yah has chosen the domesticated animal for us to learn from and understand that Yaakov was literally shepherding his people and his family. That's the job of a father. That's the job of a husband. That is the job of a master and a ruler, is to be the one who is shepherding. And the shepherd carries around a staff, okay? And the staff, again, represents authority, and it represents leadership. It represents learning, because that's even the word for Hebrew, lamad or lamed, meaning to learn, okay? That's what these things mean. Okay. Guiding, teaching. Okay. So that's what he's doing. And his desire is to bring his family to a place of rest. And he can't do that as of now because he has some things going on. Right. So let's look at what his desire was. Before I go there, though, since I mentioned it, I want to verify, and I want you to remember what I said about, forgive my drawings, you guys. I'm not an artist. I just try to do my best. I don't got time for this. Let me get rid of this. Okay. So let me share this with you now. I said to you that we're like sheep. And the first thing that popped in my head when I said that was the fact that the creator of the heavens and the earth calls his people sheep. We will find this in the prophets called Yakezel, or Yakezquel, excuse me, known as Ezekiel. And his name means he grabs hold of, okay? That's what that prophet's name means. He grabs hold of. El grabs hold of. So in the book of Yakezquel, chapter number 34, Yah opens this up telling him that, listen, human being, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. I need you to prophesy. I need you to tell them, sorry for all the ads, you should tell the shepherds that the supreme master Yahweh says that woe to the shepherds of Israel who feed themselves. Shouldn't the shepherds feed the sheep? And he goes on about what they've been doing. We don't have a whole bunch of time to go over that. But I do want you to know something. The Yah says that he's against the shepherds, okay? He's against them because they haven't done their job, right? And he's talking about the leadership of the nation. He's literally not only talking about them, but he's also talking about those who they were guiding. And okay, so here it is. Yah says, for here's what the supreme master Elohim says. When I have here Adonai in its original Hebrew here, it's really saying the supreme master, and then here Elohim is really Yahweh, okay? I am taking over. I will search for my sheep and look after them myself, okay? So it wasn't in context. Yah says, I'm taking over, okay? I'm gonna go find whoever I need to go find in California and Texas and wherever they are, right? Because I'm not gonna leave this into the hands of the shepherds, because the shepherds have not done their job. They've been fleecing the sheep, with tithes and offerings and, taking their wives and all kind of stuff, right? So he says, just as a shepherd looks after his flock when he finds himself among his scattered sheep, so I will look after my sheep. I will rescue them, okay? I'm going to rescue my sheep from them. I will rescue them from all the places where they were scattered when it was a cloudy and dark, okay? So Yah's talking about rescuing from all the places, and that is all the places that we've been scattered, okay? I will bring them back from those peoples. I gather them from those countries and return them to their own land. Then I will let them feed on the mountains of Israel, by the streams, and in all the livable places of the land. All right, so this is a guarantee from the one who wants to shepherd, who is shepherding us, who wants to bring us back, because ultimately, what is he trying to bring us to?
So the land.
I'm going to bring you to the land so you can do what? Why do a shepherd lead a sheep to where? Why does he lead them there?
To eat.
To pasture.
And to rest. Okay. So I will feed them in good pastures. Their grazing ground will be on high mountains of Israel. They will what? They will rest in good grazing grounds and feed in the rich pastures on Israel's mountains. Yes, I will pasture my sheep. I'm the one pasturing them, and I will let them rest, says the Supreme Master. I will seek the lost, bring back the outcast, banish the broken, strengthen the sick, but the fat and the strong I will destroy. And if he's talking about sheep, he's literally talking about his people. I will feed them with judgment. So the fat and the strong are the ones who've been, messing up things. They've been fouling the water. They've been snatching everything away from us. Okay. And they're the ones who have what you would call success. And they have not done anything to help and provide. And they haven't been what we would call Canaan. They haven't been gracious. They haven't been merciful. They haven't been concerned about the people that live within the community of their camp of their own people. So as for you, and listen to what Yah calls us in verse number 17, my flock. Okay. Interesting that he uses this word flock right here. Okay. He didn't call them a herd. Okay. A flock is different than a herd. Okay. A flock is a small group. The very small group. Out of the group, my flock. not my herd. Okay. Says the Supreme Master. Okay. He says this, I will judge. It didn't happen at the cross of Yehuzus or whatever that guy's name is. It didn't happen there. He says, I will judge between sheep and other sheep. Okay. Between rams and billy goats. I'm about to make it clear who's who. Okay. He said, it wasn't enough for you to feed on the best pasture and drink the clearest water, meaning you've lived in a life of wealth and so forth. And did you have to trample the rest of the pasture and foul the remaining water with your feet? Talking about how they treated the other sheep and the other rams. So now my sheep eat what you have trampled with your feet and drink water fouled by your feet. Filth. Therefore, here is what the Supreme Master Elohim says to them. I will judge between the fat sheep and the thin sheep. So he's making a declaration that the thin ones are the ones who haven't been able to do well. Okay. And then he says, the fat ones, I'm killing them. You would think if you had a whole bunch of money and you had a whole bunch of success and you didn't do anything for your people, you would be concerned, wouldn't you? Because you push them with your flanks and shoulders and you butt all the weak ones with your horns till you scatter them in every direction, meaning there is no community, there is no family type structure like with us as a people. And he's not only talking about the rich, he's talking about those who are in positions of power that could be helping and they're not. Therefore, I will save my flock. They will no longer be prey. I will judge between sheep and other sheep. And then finally, Yah tells us something. He says, I will raise up one shepherd to be in charge of them. Okay. And he will let them feed. And this one is my servant, David. He will pasture them and be their shepherd. The reason why Yah has chosen David, and what he's talking about here more specifically, is not actually David himself, but it's one of David's descendants that are among the children of Israel that are in exile. This David right here is the one that Yah has chosen to lead his people. And he says, I, Yahweh, will be their Elohim, and my servant David will be prince among them. I, Yahweh, have spoken. I will make a covenant of peace with them. So this brit that I'm making, this time of, this agreement that we're making is one of shalom. And I will rid the land of of wild animals, and they will live securely in the desert and sleep in the forest. I will make them, the sheep, and the places around my hill a blessing. And I will cause rain to fall when it should, and there will be showers of blessing. Okay. That's where our blessings are coming from. The trees in the field will bear their fruit, their soil its produce, and they will be secure in their land. As I've been telling us for many months now, the Yah's blessing is his rain that falls out of the sky that hits the ground. And everything that the trees bring and everything that the produce brings, they will be, our blessings. And he says, and they, the people, will be secure in their land. So that word right there, secure, is what a Hebrew word I believe is used. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I accidentally hit that. It's called Yasha. And Yasha means salvation. Okay. So they're going to be safe in their land, and they will know that I'm Yahweh. They're only going to know who I am, that I'm Yahweh, when I break the bars of their yoke and rescue them from the power of those who turn them into slaves. Okay. That's when you're going to know that I am Yahweh. Okay. Because that's what I do. I break bars like I did for you when you're in Mitzrayim. I break yokes off your neck so you can stand up straight. I rescue you, right? Because those who have power over you, that's why I sent you where I sent you. I sent you to people that are stronger than you because I made them stronger than you. I didn't choose you because you're the strongest. I chose you because you're the weakest. If you notice right here, in the context of it, he says that I'm not looking for the fat sheep. I'm looking for the thin. I got to have somebody to rescue these guys right here. They don't need to be rescued, and they're not interested in being rescued. That's why they're treating everybody the way they're treating them. So no longer will they be prey for the goyim, for the nations, nor will the wild animals devour them, meaning all the other peoples. Okay, so Yah calls the goyim and all the other peoples that are not Hebrew Israelites wild animals. Those are your leopards, your lions, your wolves, and your boars, and all these other creatures, okay, that will try to devour us and that are devouring us, okay? And these, all the other nations, that's what the goyim is, okay? And they, who? My sheep, the little thin ones, will live safely. That's salvation, with no one to make them afraid. So in our context of our text of the Torah portion this week, what Yaakov's desire is as a shepherd to bring his family, his sheep, and everything that belongs to him to safety. That's what he's after. Okay. 29 says, I will make the productivity of their crops famous because I'm going to bless it with rain. So now the productivity of your crops are going to be famous. So you're going to have the best wine. You're going to have the best wheat. You're going to have the best of the best because I told you that what I expect from you is the best. So the best is available for those who want to be the best. And that comes with the mindset that we talked about, that you're willing to be the best. See, you want to be the best, not for your own benefit, but for the benefit of the whole entire camp, the makane, okay? So, because that's what a makane is for. A makane, a camp, is used for a person to show grace, mercy, and compassion. This is the reason why the Creator has divided us up into camps when we were living with him, and he sectioned it off. And what he was doing is teaching us, okay, through our families and how to respond. And of course, when anything went wrong, you know exactly who it was because the camps were divided, as we saw in the book of Yehoshua. So you're going to have you're going to be famous. Your food is going to be famous. The productivity of your crops are going to be famous. Okay. And look, and no longer will be consumed by hunger because the hunger is real. The hunger is real. Our people are going hungry every day. Yeah, we might have had some food tonight, but you and I might be eating. Other people in our heritage, they're not eating. And if they are eating, they're eating junk food. Okay, or they're eating Caesar's pizza. They're trying to eat something that's affordable. They're eating $5 pizzas because that's all they can afford. That's all they can afford for 30 days straight. They only got like $150, $200 worth of, and they're taking EBT and food stamps and everything. All they eat is junk food. And then the food that they do give them is contaminated, it's poison. Okay, the water is poison, the food's poison. There's no nutritional value. So you got to ask yourself, you know, when you're in exile, what is this really about, right? So when he talks about consumed with hunger, he's literally saying that you guys are not even eating right. And my people are being consumed with hunger. But if you were in your camp and you were in your makane, you wouldn't have that because I can go right over to Dr. Ured's and he would feed me. There would be no problem. And if I was poor, he would be able to feed me. Why? Because he follows the Torah. Because you look out for the widow, the stranger, and the fatherless. That's how it goes. Okay. And the poor. So, and then also too, like we learned last week or a few days ago, that Yah is concerned about the tithes and the offerings. Why? For his people. Okay. So they won't be consumed with hunger in the land anymore. And because this is what he says, you will bear the shame of the goyim anymore. You won't bear their shame. The shame is that you and I can't provide for ourselves. So when he's talking about shame, he's literally saying that, look, as bad as you guys want to think you're doing okay individually, understand something. Okay. Collectively, as a nation, you're put to shame. You are. And so when you look at how shameful it is for your brother not to have nothing to eat, and you and I don't possess the resources to feed everybody. We don't. We're in bad shape. Okay. So it's a shame. This is a shame to be here. This is a shame. Okay. And we're bearing this shame, and they made it happen for us. This is why he's going to judge them. Okay. He says, they will know that I, Yahweh, their Elohim, am with them. I'm with you when you don't bear any more shame. I'm with you when you don't have any hunger. And this is what I've been trying to tell a lot of these people, our people, you know, as stupid and as dumb and ignorant as they are, and how rebellious and they're just weird. Like, you know, a couple of people I try to talk to, they just don't want to hear it. Like, why won't you just read what it says? It's because they still don't understand that he says that when I'm with you, you won't bear any more shame. See, I'm with them. They'll know that I'm with them. They're Elohim. Okay. When they have their crops famous, when they're no longer hungry, and that they, the house of Israel, meaning the 12 tribes of Israel, are my people. They will know this. Everybody will know it. Not one tribe, not two, not five, all of the sons of Israel. Talking about our Father who is named this. Okay. Says the supreme master Yahweh. Now, conclusion, you, my sheep, the sheep in my pasture are human beings. I chose you to be identified as sheep because I want you to know that I am your shepherd, not the guy in the New Testament that claims that he's the shepherd that left you to go along in slavery and to be devoured. Matter of fact, if he claims to be a shepherd, why are you in captivity? Why are you being devoured? So I'm actually mad at him, right? Because didn't I leave you in his charge? If you like to say that I was his God and that he's the shepherd, he's the good shepherd. If he's such a good shepherd, then why are we still here dealing with shame and bearing the shame of the Goyim? Why are we still being consumed by hunger? Why are we not back in our living securely in our land? Why are we being devoured by these people? Why are some of us still thin and there's others that are fat? That's a horrible shepherd if this guy has been your shepherd. That's why Yah says, I'm getting rid of all of them. I'm going to come and do this myself. I am Yahweh. I am your Elohim, says the Supreme Master. That's what I am to you. And I need you to remember this, and I need you to understand what my intentions are for you, okay? And so I'll teach you the intentions through what I said through prophecy, right? Through my prophets, who I speak through, and I'll tell you through Yaqezquel, but also too, going back to what you and I are learning in our portion right here. We find that Yaakov sent messengers to his brother, Esau, his brother, toward the land of Seir in the country of Edom with these instructions. He says, here's what you are to say to my master, which we're going to get into on Thursday, Yom Kamishi. He says that tell him that he's my master. He says, your servant Yaakov says, I have been living with Lavan and have stayed until now. I have cattle, donkeys, and flocks, male and female servants. I'm sending to tell this news to my master. That's what he's calling him, not Lord, my master, in order to win your favor. And that word right there is the word that we begin our study on Khan, okay? From the word Canaan, which has to do with the word from Makan Ne. So I hope you can see that connection, okay? Different vowels right here on the end, but that's it, okay? Okay, so Makane, Ma means what, okay? That's what it means. What is what? Canaan. Canaan is beautiful. So what he's trying to do is he's trying to establish grace and mercy as if he's going to be letting his brother know, like, okay, we're family. We come from the same camp, because that's where camps are. A camp is a family, people. So that's what he's saying. He's reaching out to his brother to say, look, I want grace and compassion. When I encounter you, I don't want to go and fight. I don't want that. So then we're going to talk about a little bit more what he did on Yom Kamishi. Anyone have any questions? So far, to me, it's a beautiful illustration about what we should look forward to. I'm laughing because I'm gonna be honest with you. I had no idea what I was going to teach on tonight. No idea. No, not a clue. And I'm happy That's why I'm laughing all the time, because I'm like, man, I can't believe that y'all is showing us this. I don't think I know. If someone's trying to teach someone, I think they should have information, right? You learn, you study. But I think you're only learning just so you can be prepared. I think when we ask Yah to do something for us, we need to understand that based on all the information that we've obtained over the last few months or weeks or whatnot, that he'll use and pull from those things, and that's why I try not to have some outline, some lesson plans sometimes. Yeah, we have slides and stuff. I'll put those slides together, but I don't try to come up, well, what am I going to say to them? Or what, I'm going to say this, or I'm going to say that. So I don't operate like that. And I think the reason why that's good is simply because we really want to hear what the Creator's trying to tell us. So in all honesty, I didn't have anything to really talk about tonight. So I know that this lesson is from the Creator, meaning like he's really showing us what his intentions are. And it kind of sets the foundation for us to move forward till we get to Yom Kamishi, if he's willing. And then, of course, if he's willing to have us come back and meet again on Shabbat, then we'll see what else he has for us to understand. But I think this is a wonderful intro. I think it's a great lesson. And I'm not just teaching you, I'm teaching myself. I'm learning. So don't think, oh, he already knows this. No, I don't. No, I don't. I knew about some of that stuff, but I didn't know about all that other stuff. I didn't know about that. Anyone make a contribution or a comment or remark? You're
Toda,
welcome.
it was wonderful. I enjoyed it.
Toda Rabban. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Well, with that being said, I'll let you guys have the rest of your evening to yourselves, and may Yahweh continue to be with you in Lila Tov.
Lila Tov, Toda Rabah.
Lila Tov.